Maybe you're just picking the wrong guys. What was your first clue, sweetie? Yeah, I figured that much, But when it comes to dating, I don't know if someone's a fucking living piece of shit or not. And I have to put my heart on the chopping block every time and see if it gets sliced and diced or not. I never know. And where are these nice guys, huh? On Nice Guy Island somewhere, or twiddling their thumbs, reading Bible verses while we're all out here being hoes? Because I don't know where they are. The right guy will come and find you, yeah? When? We're patiently waiting for you, sweetie. And if you're not trying to be my future husband, don't text my phone, because I'm not trying to get attached to you. Yeah. All that cute shit, and then you just change up to the dick you really are.
Welcome, my friends. My name is Antoine Phoenix, and this is my RP experience. Peace and love to all my brothers and sisters out there. Thank you for hitting the like button, subscribing, sharing, and turn on all notifications so you know when I have a whole new video up. Today's video, a little change of pace, but still maintaining the relationship flaws of 2025. Now, in the area of the internet that I'm in, we do a lot of talking about the negatives about marriage, relationships in general with women. And I'm pretty sure women can say a lot of negatives with being with men. But what happens when you meet that person that just clicks and everything goes practically perfect and you are both happy? And this is why we have that term called the honeymoon stage. I'm not sure what I'm going to name this video, but I know it's going to be something referring about you found the person, everything's good, and then 5, 10, 15, 20 years later, you two can't stand each other. What happened? Was it real in the beginning? And I think this is the hardest thing it takes for me when I had a good relationship with one of my exes. Because in the back of my mind, like, damn, what happened? Yeah, I know I wasn't perfect. I know I messed up, but she messed up too. And at that time, we was able to somewhat move past those mistakes. Where a lot of people would say, yo, I would have left, or I wouldn't have put up with that shit. But no, that same thing of when you're a man and you're with a very beautiful woman, you let a lot of stuff slide. Okay, if she's into you, if she's giving you intimacy, she's mostly being good, but maybe she has a temper tantrum here and there. She has little things that kind of turn you off, but you're kind of like, okay, well, I can work with that. And I'm pretty sure women do that with men. But then later, what happens? Now, one of the things that I know sometimes happens with a lot of people is you have a kid. Now, before you had a kid, everything was fine, but maybe you was able to live in this fancy land of you two going out, you go to work, maybe you get into an argument here and there, you share and talk about a lot of things. And that's what I was able to do with a lot of my exes. Not everything, because I know sometimes when you sharing your vulnerabilities too much with women, it can be good with the right woman, but see, I've only been able to do that with female associates or friends to tell them maybe real personal stuff. But with a woman that I'm dating, it always seems to bite me in the ass later. Either A, she throws it in my face when things get sour, when we are having an argument, or B, she gets totally turned off once she sees a vulnerability. And that may not be something that I say, it could be something that happens. Maybe I have a job loss or financial struggle. She was okay in the beginning, but then things changed. Now, women may be able to say things maybe changed when she gained some weight or she was dialed up when he first met her, but she didn't. She don't always look like that, and something happens. But anyway, I have this video right here that when I was looking at, it reminded me of some of my relationships. And then later, I was like, damn, what happened? Anyway, let's look at that one.
Okay. So he's a space guy.
I like it, yeah.
I like that little astronaut. I'm a space girl. I like the stars.
Really?
My Uber is 6 minutes away.
Do you have time for one more? We'll do two more?
Hi.
Hey.
See you again.
You too. That was great. Sarah, can you help me with this? You look great.
4 minutes.
4 minutes.
I've learned to lose, you can't afford to.
Are you just gonna stand there and watch?
It's not about the shoe, Tom.
Is this what we're doing?
You could have packed last night.
I'm packed, okay?
I told you that I had to miss the flight earlier.
We're not gonna miss the flight. Just give me some help.
Uber will be here in 4 minutes.
I hear you. Thank you, Sarah.
I'll be in the lobby.
It's 3 minutes away.
No, I just don't want to know about it.
Can I at least give you a ride?
It's okay. The car's 2 minutes away.
Hurt you if you let me.
Tom? Tom?
Sarah.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice suit.
Yeah.
Do you have a minute?
Yeah. Have a minute.
I could lie, say I like it like
You look
that.
great.
And that right there is an Uber ad. But it was something touching about that because it made me go back to some of my relationships. And wow, sometimes it takes me a while to let go or to get over something. It's only because it was either I was expecting a different outcome, I was expecting too much out of something, or either it was really good at the time, or it was the best that I had at the time, and then I was like, damn. And there's only a few women that I think finally back of like, damn, it was good at that time. But of course, I would travel back and tell my future self to maybe don't go to that extent with that person or to don't feel as strongly as you may end up feeling. Then again, that's a paradox because if I did that, I would not become the person I am now. And this is the thing, while I'm veering a little bit off topic, but this is why I think a lot of times men like to date women that are younger. I'm not talking about too young, but I'm saying younger than him because the women that tend to be in his age group are broken beyond repair, really bitter. If they was really attractive and used to a certain type of treatment and attention, they are not getting it now because they don't look how they used to look, or they was not able to get over in the way that they was able to get over. Like, okay, I think women, especially attractive ones, women go through a thing that sports athletes go through. when they are forced to retire or that time is over. Because eventually those cheers stop. Eventually those endorsements stop. Eventually you stop making that type of money that you was making or living that type of life that you was living at that time. And you have to reset and go a different direction. I think that's a lot of time what women may struggle with. But getting back to what I was talking about, when a relationship is good and then it goes sour. Now, in their case, it wasn't a kid, but did they rush into it? Or did they just manage to get involved with an activity partner that they was having a lot of fun with at the time, and once either his money dried up or either they wasn't able to travel or they wasn't able to stay in that same phase of having fun and exploring, and they had to eventually go into the mundane life of making a living, buying a house. That's why I say a lot of times kids are life changers to a lot of people. And I think unless if you get involved, if you're a man, you get involved with a woman that's ready to have and build a family. And I would say the same thing for women, to get involved with a man that's ready to buckle down and have a family. But a lot of times I don't think we do that because we find that person we have a connection with, everything's going fine, but what we fail to think about is it's good because of the circumstances that we have right now. Once the circumstances change, things may change. I'll use this example with one of my relationships because I actually did something I usually don't do. I actually dated someone from work. And truthfully, it was good. It didn't get to be bad. We had a couple hiccups in there, but we was mature enough to talk about it and move on. Unlike a previous relationship where it was a lot of screaming and yelling. That's one thing I'll say that I liked about that particular relationship after that one was I was able to have discussion, and while she may get mad or I may get mad, we don't stay in that and it did not escalate. So once again, I'm not against having conversation. I'm against getting into that toxic space that she starts saying anything, and then maybe she starts putting hands on me, and then I have to leave, and then she weaves a story leaving out the stuff that she did. A lot of women do that now. That's why a lot of times when women are talking about the men that they are with, unless if I know that guy is the dirtbag or I'm seeing bruises on her or something, I automatically start wondering, which I may not challenge her on that at the time, but I may be wondering, what's his side of the story? What are you leaving out? Again, for those of you that are in that honeymoon stage or your relationship appears to be going fine, my best advice to somewhat keep it like how it is to keep the relationship between you and them. Unless if you have close friends and you have a relationship like that both of you are able to confide in your friends and your friends are able to help heal certain misunderstandings between you two and not break you two apart. I've only seen that on TV, so I don't know if that exists in real life, but I usually say keep other people out of the relationship and value each other above all other people to keep it like that. And of course, do things with each other. This is why I do agree with you have to take your woman out. You have to still somewhat date her when you are in a long-term relationship with her, only because you will get bored, she will get bored. Now, men are able to weather the storm of being bored and suffer that type of thing a lot better than women. If you go with my last video, how women, a lot of them, they are more loyal to their emotion than the person. They don't have that honor thing that men usually have. I'm not sure if it's an indoctrination thing, but either way, I don't really trust women for what they say. I only trust by what they are doing at the time now. Because I've had women say they love me to the moon and back and I'll never do this and that. And they did not until at one point, I guess the feelings changed and then they did me just like they say they wasn't going to do me. Okay. And another thing before I forget, those women, for the men out there, if you start dating them and the first thing they say is like, well, the only thing I can't take somebody cheating on me because every boyfriend cheated on me, and if the person cheats, I'm just going to have to leave. Okay, it sounds good on the surface, but if she's bringing up cheating right off the bat, right out of nowhere or something, you have to look at her funny, because every woman that has gave me that song and dance about not standing for cheating, they cheated. They cheated, or they did something slimy or suspect or shady or entertained, or Michael cheated. They did it first. Okay? Now, the thing was, I should have just left, but I guess I was still living under that thing of when a woman steps out on you, it's something you're not doing. So maybe you need to be better there. But then again, I'm still feeling hurt. So I'm kind of like, you know what? Well, I guess I'm going to get you back. Now, once again, we are not doing that in 2025. The woman's doing that, just leave. But of course, if you have a family and kids, like years later, then I guess you really have to weigh the option of if you really want to pull the trigger. Because I also think everybody eventually make mistakes, and sometimes it's a miscommunication. And the one big thing that I'll say, because I know it was a big thing in mine, we was not having hardcore conversations. And I don't count arguing as hardcore conversation. I'm talking about sitting down and saying what we need in the relationship, what you're not doing, what I'm not doing, that type of stuff right there, and both hearing each other and not talking at each other and being nasty and mean. Okay, and at worst, talking to other people, telling them a one-sided story, and then having them gas you up and say certain things right there that will destroy the relationship. In that video that we just watched, I don't know what happened to make their relationship start to deteriorate, but you saw that they started getting irritated with each other, and it was cute at first with the we have like 2 or 3 minutes left, but then eventually they start driving each other crazy. And they will sometimes say this happens because over the course of a relationship, a man and a woman will start seeing each other as brother and sister. And I'm like, wow, is that inevitable? Will that always happen? So, anyway, I want you to think about that out there. Love does exist. You can find that person, because I found it twice, maybe 3 times. But the third time, I would always say, I'm not sure how that would have played out. That was the girl from Archer. I don't know how that would have played out because we only had a small window, and I just had a sample size. I did not see how it would be over months and years, unlike the other couple that it did go a bit of a distance. Oh, and one other thing I want to say, with the one that I was dating from work, what changed in our relationship was she got another job. I started having less money because I had responsibilities of paying child support, and of course, taking her out to eat and do things. That was also putting a hole in my pocket. And I remember her saying, before it got to the point of she broke up with me, was, I hate broke Antoine. Okay? So, while I would not say she was a gold digger, I will say still, she was superficial of, she probably liked the things that we was able to do together, and maybe that's how she fell for me. And then once I wasn't able to constantly give her that dopamine hit, her feelings just left right there. So because of that right here, no, we're not doing that particular thing. And it's not like she was a total 10 out of 10. I mean, she was cute, but that's a separate conversation. Give me a like and subscribe. Have a good night. If you have a good relationship, talk to each other, try to work it out, and be on the same page. And good luck.